Hello?
Hello.
Hi, Wendy. Once again, as per the email, this is an academic research with no profit motive. Um, the results of the study will be published in an academic journal, and upon publication, we will provide a copy to the SMC organization from which we got your, the contact information.
Mm-hmm.
The way we do this is all the information that you provide will only be known to my co-researcher, Dr. Pia Albinson, and me. No one else will have any access to this recorded interview and any other email exchanges we have. We will use pseudonyms, and we will disguise all other identifying information in the paper. Any demographic data we collect will also be provided.
It's okay. I'm very loose with my.
It's just for we have to follow the protocol to make sure, because it involves human subjects. So I have to ensure that your privacy issues are 100% protected.
Okay.
So that's what I had to. So with your permission, should I begin?
Sure.
Okay. So again, thanks a lot for agreeing to participate. How about we start with the time, what was going on in your life at the time that you decided to look at the SMC as an alternative? What was going on?
I was casually dating a younger man, and it made me realize that I wanted to have a family. More so, he was really cute, and we were having a lot of fun, but he wasn't there. It was very casual, and it made me very frustrated. So, and I'd been thinking about having a child on my own, and then there was a New York Times article, I think in April one year. It was called "Looking for Mr. Good Sperm." The New York Times magazine cover story. And I read it, and I was like, oh, my God, other women are doing this. Wow. And so I thought about it. And then in May or June, I went to Los Angeles where I was living in New York, and I went to visit my parents, and I was supposed to do something with some friends, and they flaked out. And my parents invited me to go see a movie with them. And I went with them, and you know how you assume you know all of your parents' friends, but they had these new friends, and it turned out that the man is one of the doctors from California Cryo Bank, which I didn't know. So I took that to be a sign. And then I went back to New York, and I think in July I spoke with my gynecologist about it. And he was very off-putting. And I'd been seeing this gynecologist for like 16 years. So he was very Upper East Side, and I was kind of more East Village. But anyway, I went back in September, and I spoke to the nurse and said, I don't understand why he's so negative. And she said, he's helped so many other women, and of the 6 that he's done, 2 have had financial problems, so he's just concerned. And I was like, my financial problems are not his concern. So then that was in September. I think we did one in maybe October, and then December, and then we did medicated IUIs. And it turned out that I had genetic testing, and it turned out that I'm a carrier of Gaucher's disease. So it was like almost straight out of a soap opera or something. I was at my doctor's office ready for my first insemination, and he was a very small office, so the receptionist was his nurse. And so if she was busy, or talking on the phone, he would pick up the phone. And So I'm there in my little pink outfit, and he's like defrosting the sperm. And he got a phone call, and he went to get it, and then he turned to me and he said, "Wendy, that was the geneticist. Do you know if this donor has been tested for Gaucher's disease?" And I was like, "What? I have no idea." So then I had to get dressed and call up California Fire Bank and talk to them. And it turned out just randomly I had chosen someone who was half Jewish, so all the people who are half Jewish are tested. So it's fine. But I was pregnant. And so that was the, I guess, October one, and I tried in December, and then I got pregnant in February when I tried it.
This past February?
No, my daughter's 5.
Oh.
And so in 2000, I started in 2006 and got pregnant in 2007.
Oh. And could you just recall anything specific that your first, the doctor that you'd been seeing for a long time, could you recall anything specific that stuck in your memory about what he said or what happened there?
He just wasn't like, "Okay, let's start it. If this is what you want to do, let's do it." He was kind of like, "Well, yeah." He was, he was kind of off-putting. He wasn't very, he wasn't like, "Well, if this is what you want to do, these are the steps we have to take." He was kind of avoided. He kind of evaded, kind of brushed it off. And so then I kind of thought about it, and I went back, and I was like, so I asked, because it was a very small practice, I asked the nurse, because I'd known her for 16 years too, I was like, "What's going on?" And, she was like, because, I'm much more funky than his general clientele. He has, like the majority of his people are kind of, ladies who schedule C-sections, they're very fancy, and anyway, so I spoke to her, and then it was all kind of resolved.
What did she say?
She just said that he was concerned that, he had inseminated maybe I think there were 6 ladies, but maybe 2 or 3 were lesbian couples, but there were 2 women who were doing it on their own, and they were having financial problems.
So his primary concern was the financial issue.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, he didn't. I actually have friends who are a lesbian couple, and they went to 2 doctors who refused to do it. And this is in New York City, which I found to be quite shocking.
Mm.
But he didn't have any concern over any moral issues or any, questions about me being a single mother. He just wasn't sure about my financials, so that was his concern.
And could you do you remember any specific stories about how you made the choices between different types of treatments and things like that?
He's kind of one of those doctors who just tells you what to do, and tells you what test to take or whatever. He doesn't really discuss, which was good because I went to the SMC after I started thinking. I started going to after I read about the SMCs first in that New York Times magazine, and then I started going, and all the women were having their FSH tested and this and that, and I really had absolutely no idea what was going on.